Good day, this is movie number 3 of the follow curve series, follow curve on ring surfaces. First up, follow curve only works when you cut from the cardinal outside directions, top, bottom, left, right, not any custom angles. This means that you can't use follow curve on the inside of the shank. Any engraving you want to do on the inside of the ring must be done by Boolean difference. This is covered elsewhere. Your best friends for getting curves onto the outer surfaces of rings and other models will be Create UV Curve and Apply UV Curve from the Curves menu. Our model is a simple half-round band using the default profile and a size 7 ring rail. For realism, we will make the ring 3.5 millimeters wide and 2.5 millimeters tall and sweep it in the metal 01 layer. At this point, we would be tempted to use Create UV Curves and extract the surface of the ring. The problem is this will extract the entire surface of the ring, including the inner face of the shank, but we cannot do follow curves on the inside of the shank, and I will show you why. And this is the rectangle that represents the unfolded surface of the ring. Sidebar. Depending on the profile shape used to sweep your ring, Create UV Curves may extract the entire surface of the ring or extract from the center line to any sharp, like a 90-degree angle, edge of the surface. Each profile acts differently, so you should be prepared for both. Selecting the User 01 layer and using Create UV Curves extracts the surface of the model. Think of the model skin as being just like a rubber inner tube tire, or a rubber inner tube for a bicycle tire. Create UV Curve slits the inner tube skin along the ring rail and cuts the inner tube across the bottom of the ring. Then lays the skin out flat with the lower left corner at the center of the universe. Using our font friend Baskerville Oldface, create the text "She Loves Me" in all caps, letters 3 millimeters tall and grouped as curves. Place these by eye in the center of the strip that Create UV Curves made. And what I did, I already have this in here, and I have it. There it is. Using the same font, create the text "She Loves Me Not," all in lowercase 2 millimeters high, and place these off to one side and below the first set of text. And there it is. Since they're grouped, I click on any one part of them, I get the entire model. There are two methods to get the letters as curves onto the surface of the ring. Both use Apply UV Curves. The first is to just highlight the text curves and click Apply UV Curves. Let's do that with the line "She Loves Me." This is a great method if you want to evenly distribute your curves in the area of your model. But with letters, yuck. As you can see, Matrix looked at the entire text curves and the surface of the ring and stretched the text curves to evenly fit the entire surface of the ring. Not only is it distorted to the point of being unreadable, but the parts of the font curves on the inside of the ring will basically lead to the destruction of the ring. The cutter tip will come down through the model to follow these curves, hacking through everything above. Another thing to note, the text curves were grouped when we started this process, but the duplicates that are now draped around the model are not grouped. The easiest way to get rid of these bad curves is to use the undo button. A better way to do this is to highlight both the font curves and the rectangle created by UV Curves. And I'm going to go ahead and grab all of them. When we apply both back onto the surface together, the text remains proportional to the Create UV Curves rectangle, and the rectangle is draped back where it came from. This means we now have a set of curves that define the edges and ends of the extracted surface. You'll probably want to delete these before doing anything else. Be careful not to delete the ring rail. So here is my Apply UV Curves. I come back in and touch on there. And as you can see, now it's readable. Now it's nice. And the curve I'm talking about, I'll turn that off and turn off my finger rail. Turn off my creation, and there is the rectangle reapplied to the surface of the ring. Another way to control where the curves go on the surface of your ring model is to split the surface of the ring and extract only that portion of the ring that will have curves. For the model we have been using, a simple method is to draw a circle using F4 or to offset the ring rail curve, which is what I did here. And there's the ring. We'll go back to back to wireframe. Then we simply extrude this offset curve into a surface, and we split the surface. When I got done doing this, I just get rid of the old layer and I have new layers. One layer on the outside, one layer on the inside will change the color so you can see the difference. Now when we extract the surface, we get not only the original bounding box, but the smaller box that represents the new inner face here. What we want to do is put She Loves Me and She Loves Me Not back onto just this surface. So we would get rid of this, grab those, and place them back on using Apply UV Curves. And you may have to do some adjusting. As you can see here, She Loves Me Not is not exactly where we want it. Assuming that the text curves are now just what the customer wanted, enter into the Revo Builder. Curves on the outside of the ring will be milled as part of a rotary job on a tube of wax and 3-jaw chuck, or as part of a rotary job on the center hub fixture. Let's do the rotary job first. We click No Inside Work. We click No Inside Work. We let the software choose our wax. We stay with the 10-degree cutter and the distance between toolpath settings of 003. And then we go to the detailed option pages. We will click Add, and they have two different types of follow curve functions here that we can select: follow curve flat and follow curve rotary. We're going to do one of each. Follow curve flat is good for curves that are close to perpendicular to the cutter. Follow curve rotary is good for curves that wrap around the ring surface. For the movie, we will do both. Selecting a letter close to the top of the shank and one down on the side will show how this works for both cutting methods. We double click, pick our custom curves. V is close to the top. E is way around the side. We put that in here, and we do the same for the same curves here. V and E. Now, drop depth below curves is how far you want the mill cutter to cut below the curves. Since the curves are on the surface of the shank and the default value is 0, we won't cut anything. From experience, I found that an engraved look can be had with values between 0.3 and 0.6 millimeters beyond the curves. For the model, a value of 0.5 will be used. So I'll just type 0.5 there and hit enter. And I'll come back up here to custom curves and go 0.5 there too. We'll stop the movie, make our toolpaths, and come back. Here is the result that we got. And here are the results all poured on top of each other. So to see each one, we click on the rotary part, and there's our rotary cut. We go to follow curve flat. We'll turn off the STL. And we can see that the V is going to cut very nice and look just like hand engraving because we're coming down from the top. But the E is going to almost completely destroy the model because it's going to come in here at this angle and tear right into it, and you're not going to get an E at all. So that's the difference between flat. Here's follow curve rotary. Much better results. The V is going to get cut straight down, then the machine is going to roll around and address this curve perpendicular as well. Very nicely done. Now, stepping back to the beginning of the Revo C Builder, let's use both sets of curves and the dual fixture flat milling strategy with a center hub. So here's our dual fixture. Here's our center hub. This is the best method to engrave both the side lettering, She Loves Me Not, and the outer facing lettering, She Loves Me. Now, be careful whenever setting up the follow curve's cutting angle for side or flat cuts. It is always possible to have the cutter enter the model from the wrong side, destroying the model. I'm going to do that now. We need to add flat milling. Here's follow curve flat. Here's follow curve rotary. We'll do a follow curve flat down here. We'll click on that, and we'll see that it's angle 0. And in this case, angle 0 is straight down from the top. Not right. I should have picked follow curve vertical ring. That's the one I want. That's auto flip, and you can see it's put in the stack in its proper location. Again, angle 0 is from the correct side, the side that we would want to address the letters She Loves Me Not. What we're going to do is click on that, hit rotate, and we're going to rotate that around to the wrong side. Gotta get in the right view. There we are. Hit enter. Put in our curves. And remember, these are not grouped, so the first thing we have to do is come in here and pick them all out one at a time. Let's go ahead and just use the word she. Put that in there. And again, they're on the surface. We'd have to go 1/2 millimeter deep. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another follow curve just like that from the correct side. Part 2. That is from the 0 angle, custom curves. And we're going to put in Loves Me. Loves Me Not. Hold down your shift key, grab everything. This is where grouping really pays off. You're not trying to reach through the middle of other models, and you're always assured to get all of the pieces. See, I almost didn't get my E. Here we go. N-O-T. And we'll put those in here, and we'll take those in at 1/2 millimeter. And now let's go ahead and just delete these two guys, delete that guy out for now. We'll make the toolpath and come back. Here's our ring done, and as you can see, we've got everything right there. We want to go down to follow curve, part 4, and that'll open up into 2 of them. Subpart 1 was from the wrong side. You can see that it's going to penetrate all the way through our ring and destroy it and go 1/2 millimeter beyond the ring out the other side. It's exactly what we told it to do, and it's wrong. Here is subpart 2 coming in from the correct direction, and it's going in 1/2 millimeter and doing exactly what we really wanted it to do. So there's the difference between doing it wrong and doing it right, and that will give you a nice looking font. So what we're going to do now is set this up to be the correct way. The correct way to do it is to come back here, and we'll take subpart 1, which is bad, and delete it. And now we have just a single subpart. We'll go ahead and grab all of our curves again. This time we're going to grab these 3 as well. 3 letters, those in there. And remember, we want to do she loves me around the outside in Rotary, which is follow curve vertical Rotary, not follow curve vertical flat, follow curve vertical Rotary. Open that up, custom curves. Again, we want to go 0.5 millimeter deep, and we're going to come up here. We're going to grab all these little critters right here like that, and we'll process again. Notice down here in the window that by using the way I collected it, I got the ring rail and I got the ring profile. Not good. So we got to do it again. Let's get rid of that. Done like that. Got to be real careful when you're grabbing curves that you don't get the wrong curves. There, that's the right stuff. And this is the completed set of tool paths. And as we go down here, we'll go to the follow curve ring again. And there are the curves being cut from the side, exactly the way we wanted to. She loves me not. Gives you a nice cut. And then we come down here to follow curves Rotary. And here's where we cut down from the top all the way around from the outside, and we get she loves me. That's the way we would do multiple type work. And you can get all kinds of tuning on the results by changing the depth, and you can get tuning on the results by changing the cutter.